Across Europe, a new age of engineering is rising. Record-breaking wind farms built out in the freezing North Sea, tunnels carved straight through mountains, and geopolitical megaprojects so controversial, they're reshaping the balance of power in the Black Sea. This is where ambition meets the impossible. Welcome to Absolute Facts, and today, we're counting down the top 6 megaprojects in Europe. Number 1. The Stad Ship Tunnel. $272 million. There is a stretch of ocean in Norway so feared. The Vikings themselves refused to sail it. Along the brutal coastline where the North Sea collides with the Norwegian Sea, the winds shift without warning and waves slam with the force of a battering ram. Even today, modern captains with GPS and steel hulls often wait days for the waters to calm because this place is still considered one of the most treacherous maritime choke points in all of Europe. But instead of fighting the sea, Norway is carving through the land. The Stad Ship Tunnel will slice straight through the Stad Peninsula, the world's first full-scale tunnel built for ships. A 1.8-kilometer passage, 50 meters wide and 36 meters tall, big enough for massive cruise liners, oil tankers, and up to 120 vessels every single day, bypassing the deadly waters entirely and cutting travel time by nearly 2 hours. For centuries, this coastline has been a graveyard. Soon, it will be a shortcut. In 2021, the Norwegian government officially greenlit the project, allocating more than $272 million to make this impossible idea real. Construction is scheduled to begin in 2024, with completion estimated for 2026. This isn't just engineering, it's rewriting the rules of the sea. Number 2. Frankfurt International Airport expansion, $5.7 billion. At the heart of Europe lies a gateway so busy, its runways almost never sleep. Frankfurt International Airport is not just Germany's largest, it's one of the beating engines of global aviation. Over 70 million passengers, more than 2 million tons of cargo in a single year. This is Europe's busiest freight hub, the launch pad where the continent's goods take flight. And yet, it wasn't enough. Back in 2005, a series of megaprojects worth $5.7 billion began unfolding, all with one goal: to completely reshape Frankfurt's capacity for the future. First came the expansion of the oldest terminal, stretching the structure by nearly 800 meters. 7 new wide-body aircraft stands and a staggering 6 million extra passengers every year added the moment construction finished in 2012. But the transformation didn't stop there. In 2011, a new 2.8-kilometer runway was built, slicing east to west, allowing simultaneous landings and unlocking a dramatic increase in flight volume. Then, in 2015, construction began on a brand new third terminal rising from land that once belonged to a U.S. airbase, reclaimed after its closure in 2005. Terminal 3 alone is designed to handle 19 million additional passengers annually, costing more than $1.1 billion by itself. COVID delays pushed everything back, but when this mega terminal finally opens in 2026, Frankfurt won't just be an airport. It will be a scaled-up aviation super hub engineered to command the skies of Europe for decades to come. Number 3. The Istanbul Canal, $10-15 billion. There is a single choke point on Earth where 2 continents touch, and where the world's oceans funnel into a narrow, ancient passage. This is Istanbul, the strategic hinge between Europe and Asia, built on both sides of the legendary Bosphorus Strait. More ships pass through this single natural waterway than the Panama and Suez canals combined. Yet despite all this traffic, Turkey earns almost nothing from it. Why? Because of the Montreux Convention, a 1936 treaty that locked Turkey into neutrality during World War II. It guaranteed free, unrestricted passage to civilian ships and severely limited the movement of warships, making the strait one of the most geopolitically restricted corridors on the planet. But now Turkey wants to rewrite the rules. The Istanbul Canal is a radical megaproject that would carve straight through the European side of the city, 45 kilometers of man-made water turning Istanbul into an island and bypassing the Bosphorus entirely. Construction officially began in 2021, and estimates suggest it could cost up to $15 billion, with completion expected roughly 7 years after start. And here's where it gets explosive. If this canal becomes reality, Turkey could legally charge every vessel that passes through it, and potentially bypass the Montreux Convention itself. That means allies like the United States could theoretically send warships into the Black Sea right up against Russia's doorstep. This isn't just infrastructure. This is a mega-project capable of changing maritime economics and the balance of global power. Number 4, Hornsea 3 and 4, $2 billion. Out in the cold, violent waters of the North Sea, Britain is building energy giants on a scale the world has never seen. 4 of the 5 largest offshore wind farms on Earth are already in the United Kingdom. Hornsea 1 and Hornsea 2 alone generate 2.6 gigawatts, powering up to 3 million homes, and together they sprawl across an ocean footprint nearly half the size of London. And yet, that was just the beginning. The UK has set an enormous goal: 50 gigawatts of offshore wind by 2030, more than triple what the nation currently produces. And to get there, Britain is about to unleash the next evolution of its wind empire. Hornsea 3 and Hornsea 4 together, valued at nearly $19.2 billion. Hornsea 3 is already under construction, bigger than the giants that came before it, covering 700 square kilometers of open sea and targeting 2.8 gigawatts of power from 230 massive turbines. That's more output from a single farm than Hornsea 1 and 2 combined. Hornsea 4 is even more ambitious, a 600 square kilometer Leviathan northwest of Hornsea, one currently in planning and aiming to go online by 2027. These aren't mere energy projects. This is a nation trying to rewrite its future, to build entire cities powered by nothing but wind, and to turn the North Sea into the most powerful renewable energy zone on the planet. Hornsea 3 and 4 may not just be wind farms, they may be the engines of a new industrial revolution. Number 5, the energy islands of Denmark, $30 billion. Imagine a country so committed to clean energy that it's willing to build entire islands in the ocean. Denmark isn't new to this game. The very first offshore wind farm on Earth was built here in 1991. Today, nearly half of Denmark's electricity comes from wind alone, the highest percentage on the planet. But now Denmark is preparing to do something no nation has ever done before. By the end of this decade, the Danish government plans to construct the largest infrastructure project in the country's history, 2 massive energy islands floating in the North Sea and the Baltic. These won't be normal wind farms. These are offshore power hubs designed to collect, combine, and distribute wind energy across the entire region to Denmark and to neighboring European countries. One of these hubs will be a completely artificial island in the North Sea, a man-made platform engineered to handle up to 10 gigawatts of electricity, enough to power 10 million homes. The second hub, based on the island of Bornholm in the Baltic, will add another 3 gigawatts of capacity. Together, they could increase Denmark's wind output by 7 times. Construction is expected to begin as early as 2024, and when these energy islands rise from the water, they won't just make Denmark greener, they could redefine how entire nations power themselves. Number 6. The European route E39, $30.6 billion. There is a highway in Northern Europe that refuses to behave like a normal road because for centuries, Norway's coastline has been a maze of mountains, fractured rock, and thousands of scattered islands. Travel here isn't just driving, it's ferries, waiting times, and unpredictable seas. The E39, a 1,300-kilometer route stretching from Aalborg in Denmark up through the middle of Norway, looks like a single highway on the map, but in reality, it's broken into pieces across vast stretches of water. To complete the journey today, you would need 7 ferry crossings and more than 20 hours behind the wheel. But Norway wants to rewrite this reality permanently. The government is launching one of the most audacious infrastructure upgrades in Europe's history, eliminating every ferry on the E39 and replacing them with colossal bridges and deep-sea tunnels, transforming a fragmented coastal route into one continuous, uninterrupted drive from Denmark to Trondheim. At the heart of this transformation is the Rogfast subsea tunnel, a 27-kilometer engineering monster diving almost 400 meters below the surface. If completed, It will become the world's deepest and longest road tunnel. Construction began in 2018, with opening planned for 2033. And that's not all. 4 floating highways are also planned, crossing some of the most dramatic fjords on Earth. One proposed floating bridge across the Bjørnafjorden will stretch an unbelievable 5 kilometers across open water, more than double the length of the current world record. If the E39 becomes reality in its final form, it won't just be a highway. It will be a continuous, futuristic coastal superroute, stitching together some of the most rugged geography on the planet with pure engineering ambition.